Hi there. Welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Josh Mansfield, a teacher with the Demon, and with me is Nathan Fox, one of the founders of LSATdemon.com and the weekly podcast Thinking LSAT. Nate, today our email is from Annika, and the subject is 10-minute nightmare. So before you read, last week you were guessing what and responding to the email just from the subject line. I'm curious what your response is to the subject line here.
10-minute nightmare. Yeah, something about, I don't know. There is very bad advice out there that people are supposed to do the first 10 questions in 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you try to do that, you're probably going to give yourself a 10-minute nightmare. Let me see. Annika says, I've been training with the Demon for a little over a month and have focused on drilling in timed sections up until this point. I just took my first PT after my diagnostic 6 months ago. Whoa. That's a long delay between a diagnostic and your first PT. And I found myself looking like a deer in the headlights when it was time for the 10-minute break. Oh, okay. Yeah, I never would have predicted that. What? How are you? What? Annika's mad about the 10-minute break. Okay. My initial reaction was to skip the break and just keep going. But I am sure that is not recommended. I believe it's not even allowed on the official test.
Yeah.
And so to the extent that I would not recommend it is just, well, what's the point of doing a full test? Aren't you trying to kind of replicate how it's going to feel on the day of the test? So if you can't skip it on the day of the official test, then why would you skip it on your practice test? We want you to do the official test just like you do your practice tests. So probably don't skip the 10-minute break. Annika continues, how should I best utilize the break? ? Exclamation point. Eat a snack, push-ups, meditate. Look back at my notes from all my Demon classes.
Not that one.
Yeah, not that one.
You're not allowed to do that one, so don't do that one.
Right. Again, you're not allowed to have notes.
Yeah.
That would get your score canceled and a black mark on your permanent record and everything.
Don't do that.
Yeah, definitely don't do that. I'm not sure you're allowed to do the push-ups either. Can you get up? Can you leave the room?
Yes, you can.
Oh, you can.
They recheck you. If you're doing this remotely, they're going to recheck. You got to show behind your ears and you got to show your forearms and you got to do the whole thing again. Did you not know that?
Well, I guess I did. It's just so absurd.
You have
in case you have a radio in your ear so that you can talk to Ben Olsen. Yeah, I guess.
Right.
Or these days, talk to ChatGPT because we know that ChatGPT is pretty good at actually getting questions correct. It's not good at explaining those questions.
No, it is
good
not.
At getting them right.
So you are allowed to get up because you got to go to the bathroom. You got to go get something to drink. So you can get up. You can do any of those other things. Don't look at your notes.
Okay. Eating a snack. Can you have food?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can just have it sitting there the whole time?
I think I literally got up and left my office and went to my kitchen and grabbed a Cliff Bar and I think I refilled my bottle of water.
And then when you came back, you had to redo the virtual cavity search.
Correct.
From the interesting. Yeah.
It's funny, Nate. I love this email because number one, I knew you weren't going to know where the 10-minute nightmare was going, but this is actually a question that I get all the time with tutoring students the week before they take the test. They go, Josh, what am I doing? What do I do? What's the best use of that 10-minute break? And it's so funny to me that's that worries them. I have to use that 10 minutes perfectly. My general advice, yes, eat a snack. Yes, get something to drink. I grabbed, I think a Coke. I had some more caffeine. I walked for my remaining time. And then I went and sat back down and did my test. Stretch your legs, get some food. The basic advice that people give you before the test. Same thing before the test though.
Just do whatever you do. You should do the same thing on your practice test as you do on your official test. You should not, under any circumstances, take it too seriously.
Yes.
Because the truth of my true answer is, Who gives a shit? What are you talking about? It's 10 minutes that doesn't count. So it shows like how neurotic lawyers are. I mean, the fact that Annika is writing this question makes me think that Annika is pretty lawyerly. Because it's just the type of like micro optimization that I feel like a real lawyer would do. It though I would also take the other side of that argument, which is it's not something it's not a question that someone with LSAT swagger would ask, right? Nathan Fox circa 2007 would be much like Nathan Fox circa 2025 saying, huh? Who cares? What are you talking about? It just doesn't count. So what you do during that time, like if you think that that matters, you've already lost. That's what I really want to say is that if you're worried about it, wow, you're giving the test way too much respect. What matters is during the 35 minutes, you read carefully, understand what you're reading, solve questions, choose answers that you know are correct, and just do them one at a time until you run out of time.
Yeah.
How you perfectly optimize your 10 minutes, I don't know. I would say, I like the meditation suggestion. If you have a mindfulness practice, it's a great time to breathe. Yeah. Close your eyes, rest your eyes maybe. Do some basic stretches. That seems good. You could do 10 minutes of like chair yoga with your eyes closed. That seems pretty optimal. If you feel like you need a snack because you're low blood sugar or whatever, fine. If you feel like you need more caffeine, fine. I just wouldn't be like slamming down a 5-hour energy and like running your fastest mile time during that 10-minute break. Right. Like, because that type of shit is more likely to indicate that you're just stressed. You're taking it way too seriously.
All great ideas. Just do whatever you do for the real test and the practice tests. So if it's not allowed, go check those rules, right? Go look at them, because you don't want to be like, oh, I jump on my phone and listen to music, because I don't think you can get on your phone, right? So whatever your routine is, make sure it's in the rules so you don't accidentally get your score canceled.
That gives me a good idea for a demon class. We could have a demon class that was specifically about violations of those policies.
I've had 2 students this week ask me about those policies, and I have general answers, but then I tell them to go read the rules. But it would be a good class.
Because students don't, it's shocking. It's very not lawyerly of you. When they send you those documents about the test day restrictions, you should read them carefully, and then you should comply. Yeah. And you will avoid potential just disasters on the day of the official test by knowing what you're allowed to do and knowing how the whole check-in and all the looking behind your ears, like that type of thing. It's good that you are familiar with that stuff before it actually happens.
Yep.
I think that's all I got for Annika.
Me too. Thanks, Annika. Email daily@lsatdemon.com if you'd like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.